Let me introduce you to Soma Kazuki. This guy is the human equivalent of a spreadsheet. He's a complete nerd living with his grandfather in modern-day Japan, and his idea of a wild time is hitting the library to study for a boring civil service job. He has zero game, zero social life, and zero bitches. He's the kind of guy who plans out his meals for the week based on nutritional efficiency. One day, while reaching for a book at the library, a blinding light appears above his head. Before he can even process what's happening, he gets sucked into a portal, falls through the sky, and lands softly on the ground in some unknown location. He shakes off the dizziness and realizes he's surrounded by hooded figures staring at him intently. Naturally, he's terrified. But instead of panicking, he does what any logical person would do. He bluffs hard. He acts like he's totally in control, and the hooded figures buying the act escort him to what looks like a castle. The doors slam shut behind him. He's trapped in a throne room filled with people in outdated uniforms and what appear to be animal-human hybrids. The king, sitting on his throne, gets up and welcomes Soma as the hero, thanking him for answering the call. This makes Soma furious. He didn't answer anything. He was yanked from his world without permission. The king backtracks and explains the situation. They're in a world with witches, wizards, dwarves, elves, knights, and dragons roaming freely. A void opened in the north and demons started pouring out endlessly. All the surrounding kingdoms are fighting, but they're losing because they don't have unlimited manpower. One kingdom, the Chaos Empire, is the strongest and has been demanding monetary support. If they don't pay, the Empire threatens war. So they decided to summon a hero and offer it to the Empire as a sacrifice to avoid paying money they don't have. Soma is beyond shocked. He asks the king if this was really the plan, and the king nods solemnly. Soma starts thinking logically. He can't run, he'll get caught. He has to deal with this realistically. He asks the king what will happen to him after being turned over. The king has no idea. He asks if he'll be safe or immediately killed. No answer. Soma realizes he can't leave this to luck. He asks when the last hero was summoned. The minister says 500 years ago. Soma presses further. What happens after they hand him over? Will the Empire stop demanding things? Everyone shuts up, realizing they can't keep summoning heroes forever. The king looks confused, and Soma seizes the moment. He looks at the king and declares that he'll help them out of this situation because he's the chosen one, the hero who will lead their kingdom to revolution. Everyone is shocked. Soma tells the king he needs to check all the financial records and fix everything so the kingdom can generate more money. Everyone rejoices at this speech, and the king agrees to give it a shot. They go into a room, and Soma admits to himself he has no actual plan yet. He just starts taking account of all the finances from the king and minister. For 3 days and 3 nights continuously, they discuss the kingdom's finances, and he finally comes up with some sort of solution. The next day, they gather in front of a massive audience. Soma is severely sleep-deprived and looks like he might collapse at any moment. The king stands beside him and declares that he, the king, has decided Soma is more fit to rule and is transferring the kingship to him immediately. Everyone is shocked, but none more than Soma, who had no idea this was coming. On top of that, the king proudly declares that to strengthen Soma's claim to the throne, he's marrying his only daughter, Lise, to Soma. Just like that, within moments, Soma's entire life changes. He's now king of a failing kingdom and engaged to a woman he's never met. He sits in his chambers, buried in paperwork, working non-stop without breaks or sleep. Suddenly, the door opens, and a beautiful young woman in a military uniform barges in without saying anything. Soma is so tired he doesn't even look up. He asks if she's educated and knows how to read and write. This takes her by surprise, and she heatedly confirms she's very educated. Soma asks her basic math questions, and when she answers correctly, he hands her paperwork and tells her to help. She walks up to him and announces she's the daughter of the former king. This finally makes Soma look up. He asks why she's wearing a military uniform. She explains she always had a knack for combat and enrolled herself in the military to help on the front lines. She asks what he did with her father because there's no way her father would give up kingship. Soma sighs deeply and tells her the truth. He was summoned to this weird place, only wanted to escape being sacrificed to the Chaos Empire, but her father got impressed and made him king. He reassures her it won't be long. He doesn't want to be king and just wants to go home. He'll stay 2 or 3 years until the kingdom stabilizes financially. And the engagement? She can cancel at any time. Liz seems impressed by his humility and agrees to talk more cordially. Soma explains he's already working on getting money. He sold all the useless jewels and treasures from the kingdom's vault because the country needs food, not locked up jewels. Liz is mortified and tells him those treasures are ancient, precious artifacts. Soma calms her down by showing a sordid list. He only sold basic gold and silver jewelry, nothing of national heritage or dark magic items. Liz relaxes and asks about his next plans. Soma says he isn't sending money to the Chaos Empire yet because his people are still hungry. Liz suggests using the money to strengthen their own military instead. Soma thinks and realizes she's right. If they give money to the Empire, they'll just keep asking for more. If they invest in their military, they might stand up to them and regain their position. Slowly, Soma starts understanding this world. He takes an extensive tour of the kingdom and discovers hidden properties he wasn't aware of. The kingdom looks old school with no modern technology, but if you look closer, modern luxuries exist in different forms. Street lamps illuminate every street, and houses are lit at night, not with electricity, but with magic. People can create light, heat, and water at will. A priest takes him to a stupid-looking statue and tells him to put his hand on it to test for magic affinity. Soma touches it, loses himself in reality, and sees bright light spots against a black background. He remembers he hasn't taken any LSD, so it must be magic. When he comes to, the priest confirms he has magical affinity and should practice. Back in his chambers, Soma has hired working personnel who can read and write to handle paperwork. He sits down to work but plays with his magic first. He transfers his consciousness into 3 pens, which immediately start doing paperwork on their own. He tries a 4th pen. It doesn't work. 3 objects is his limit for now. Liz enters to check on him and sees the magical pens. She's surprised, saying she's never seen this kind of magic. Soma tells her he just created it. Before she can ask more, he hands her a ton of paperwork. They all work countless hours until everyone collapses from exhaustion. Soma walks over to Liz, sleeping on the couch fairly cutely, and observes her for a moment. He pushes some hair out of her face lovingly. Liz, used to creeps, immediately wakes up and demands to know what he's doing. Soma says he just came to see if she was sleeping. The next morning, Soma tells Liz he wants to show her something. They get on a horse, with Soma sitting behind her, holding her waist tightly because he doesn't know how to ride. They take a surprisingly romantic ride to a giant field covered in white. They get off, and Soma walks with Liz, showing her the fields. He explains that the entire country is filled with useless cotton fields. Once, cotton was valuable, so farmers grew it on a huge scale to export and make money. That would have been fine. With that money, they could import food. But other countries also started growing cotton. Supply increased while demand stayed low and cotton prices crashed. That's why their country suffers from famine. They have nothing to eat. Liz looks sad. She was supposed to be a leader and had no idea about any of this. She apologizes. Soma tells her not to apologize, but to help him bring the country back to its former glory. They return to the dining hall for breakfast when a man named Ark introduces himself as the leader of the guards. He sits with them and asks if there's anything he can do. Soma frankly replies that not many people in this country are useful. Most have no idea what they're doing. He needs trained manpower and people with specialized skills. Ark bows and says he'll see what he can do before leaving. Later, Liz and Soma have tea. Soma suddenly gets an idea and asks if they have any broadcasting device. Liz has no idea what he's talking about. He explains, and she exclaims, they have a device for public announcements. Perfect. Soma tells her to take him to it immediately. He's going to recruit a workforce from the general public. Liz says they already recruit that way. Soma asks how they select people. She says they use written examinations, and those who pass work in the castle. Soma tells her this strategy is highly inefficient. They're missing extremely talented individuals. He asks about the literacy rate. She says around 30%. Soma explains that written exams only show literacy, not aptitude or talent. These exams were enforced by high-ranking nobles who send their children to academies to get educated and placed in power positions. It's classic nepotism. Liz is shocked and asks what he proposes. He tells her she'll find out soon. The next day, Soma stations himself in front of the broadcasting device with Liz and addresses the entire kingdom. He tells his subjects he's giving them an opportunity to turn their lives around. He's proposing an open round for people with high aptitude, specialization, or any helpful skill. Nothing else matters. Literate or illiterate, wealthy or dirt poor. Only skills, strengths, and aptitude count. The next day, everyone gathers in court to witness the new people chosen directly by the king. Soma sits on his throne with Liz beside him. Only 5 people nominated themselves. All bow in front of him when Ark introduces the king, except a tall, dark-skinned girl named Aisha. She claims she's from a clan of warrior elves and doesn't bow to anyone she hasn't pledged her life to. Ark gets mad and tells her to bow immediately. Soma stops him. He uses his magic to remotely read information
Soma tells
about
her to
these
let him
elves
go,
and learns
That's
they're
enough.
known and feared
Guy
for
looks
combat
scared how
prowess.
might get hurt.
Excellent
Soma
warriors.
quits playing and looks at
Aisha
Hal,
says she's one of
asking
the
if he
best
still doesn't
warriors in her
recognize
clan,
him.
making
Hal
her one of the
realizes
best in
Soma
the entire
is the
kingdom
king
himself.
She
His
asks
tone
Soma
changes
for help.
immediately. He's taken
Soma
aback,
asks why he wants
but
to
she
join the Duke of
continues.
Carmine. Hal
The
says
blessed
nothing out of
forest
fear.
where her clan
Soma
lives
looks at
is
him and says he won't
deteriorating
tell Hal to
rapidly
stay.
for no reason.
He can and should do
She
as
and
he
her
pleases.
clansmen take good care of it, but it's dying. She heard Soma is intellectual and might devise a strategy to save it. Soma looks confused but starts thinking. He asks if they're thinning the forest. Aisha looks blank and asks what that means. Soma explains modern techniques. When a forest grows on its own, older trees cover the canopy, blocking sunlight from reaching the forest floor. No seedlings or saplings can grow. The forest floor dies and no young plants replace older trees that fall. This leaves the area susceptible to erosion and natural problems. Aisha immediately bows completely, pledging her entire life to Soma. She's ready to fight and die for him. She begs him to accept her as his bodyguard and help restore the forest. Soma graciously accepts. The next candidate is a beautiful maid named Juna. She's supposed to be one of the most beautiful people in the kingdom and the best singer ever. According to the minister, Juna descends from a long line of mermaids who were extremely beautiful and wrecked ships by swaying sailors with their voices. Soma realizes singing must be in her blood. He calls her forth and asks her to sing for everyone. It's being broadcast across the kingdom. She says she has no problem, but most of her songs are sad and melancholic. Soma asks if she can learn a song by heart after hearing it once. She says yes. Soma pulls out his phone and gives her an earbud to hear one of his songs. She likes it and passes the vibe check. She returns the earbuds, and everyone's surprised by this new device Soma whipped out. She gets ready and sings the song beautifully. Everyone applauds. Soma tells her he's impressed by her ability to memorize and perform perfectly after one listen. The next person is a fat idiot named Poncho. He's nervous, sweating like a pig. He gets up, tries to address the king, and trips over his own leg, falling. He gets up and explains his special ability. He's a glutton and has tried almost every dish the country offers. He expects Soma to laugh. Surprisingly, Soma rushes down to shake his hand, saying he was waiting for someone like him. He's really happy to hire him. At a time when the kingdom suffers famine, abilities like his are important. This boosts Pancho's confidence. He starts crying, saying he's been called a fatso his whole life, which, to be fair, he is. Soma thinks differently and tells him he'll be responsible for bringing the country out of famine. The next candidate is an emo guy who walks up and introduces himself as Kaz. He tells Soma that while Soma was judging others, he was judging Soma. Kaz is supposed to be one of the best minds in the kingdom, fanatical about reading every kind of literature. He's very knowledgeable, and Soma realizes this from his manner of speaking. Soma asks what his decision was and whether he thinks Soma is worthy of being king. Kaz coolly replies it all came down to one decision: whether Soma thought Fatty was useless. If he had, he would have failed as king because he doesn't know what the kingdom needs most. But Soma was extremely enthusiastic after Fatty appeared. This made Kaz believe Soma actually has brains. In fact, Kaz was so impressed he asked Soma to let him be his right-hand man and advisor. Soma is impressed by Kaz's decision-making and hires him as advisor. The last person is a loli named Tomoe. She's a wolf girl supposed to be able to talk to all animal races. She's very nervous and barely speaks. Liz comments that wolf clan members are never seen inside their kingdom. Soma replies she could be a refugee from another country who escaped the demon domain. He connects dots. If she can talk to all races, she could talk to demons. She's shaking with anxiety. Soma tells her to speak up, but she doesn't. She gets more scared. Soma descends from his throne, walks to her, crouches down, and asks what's wrong. She whispers in his ear that something bad is happening. She says something that makes Soma's eyes go wide with shock. He quickly regains composure and acts like nothing happened. He gets up, walks back to his throne, and dismisses everyone, but says he wants to see the loli in his chambers. Tomoe, Lise, Ark, Soma, and the minister gather in Soma's chamber. Tomoe sits on a couch. Soma asks if anyone heard what Tomo told him. They all shake their heads. It was barely a whisper. Soma sighs with relief, knowing no one else in the kingdom heard since it was broadcast everywhere. He tells them what he's about to say must be kept secret at all costs. It might shake the entire kingdom. He finally discloses that Tomo told him she can not only speak to animals, but also to demons. Liz is totally shocked and says it must be a mistake. Demons speak a language very different from any other race, and no living person can decipher their language apart from their own guild. Soma looks at her and says, that's exactly why Tomo is probably the most important person in the entire country, more important than him. Liz asks Tomo where she learned she could talk to demons. Tomo replies that some time ago, she was in the forest roaming around when she heard weird noises and went to investigate. To her horror, she spotted a demon, short in height with the head of a dog, looking at her. She started screaming for help. The demon told her to shut up in his own language. She understood and stopped screaming, scared of him. The demon got surprised and asked if she could understand him. She said yes. Suddenly, they heard noises coming. The demon told her to run away because if the others saw her, they'd kill her. That was the last time she saw him. She ran away. Liz looks at Soma and asks if he's planning some compromise between humans and demons. That's borderline impossible. They've killed countless humans. Soma retorts that humans have killed countless demons. He suggests this entire war might be a big misunderstanding caused by the fact that no one can understand each other. If they can communicate, they might stop the entire war. He tells Ark that Tomo needs royal-level security immediately. She must be kept safe. The minister warns that this will bring more attention to her. It would be weird for a poor girl like Tomo to have royal guards protecting her at every turn. Soma thinks, realizes he's right, and considers options. The minister suggests Soma adopt Tomo as his daughter, which would solve the problem. But Soma must marry someone before adopting. So Soma suggests Liss's father adopt Tomo, making it normal for her to have royal protection. Tomoe interrupts, telling them she already has a family living in the refugee camp and won't leave them. Soma smiles and assures her that once she's adopted, Tomo's parents will become relatives to the king and will live in the castle with her. She yelps with joy and thanks them for everything. Later, while Soma chills in Liss's room, he learns Pancho is back from his quest. He immediately goes to meet him with Liss. They sit down, and Pancho thanks Soma for letting him use the royal wyvern. It made collecting everything easy and fast. The next dish Pancho brings forth horrifies everyone. It's a slime monster. They're disgusted. But Pancho wears an apron, rolls the slime flat on the counter, cuts it into noodle-like slices, boils it with salt, adds vegetables and stock. The finished product looks unappetizing, but Soma comments it looks like ramen from his world. He sits down, takes a bite, and is pleasantly surprised. It even tastes like ramen. He starts slurping noisily. Slowly, everyone tries it and enjoys it. Their broadcast ends with that, and it's wildly successful. Soon, every eatery in the area serves the meals they showcased. People start mixing things to create new and exciting meals. Soma is called to the throne room. A guard says the Prime Minister insists on an audience. Soma enters and finds Kaz and the Prime Minister bowing. He tells them to get up and speak. The Prime Minister says he feels he should follow the former king's example and step down, giving new blood a chance to shine and deal with situations using new techniques instead of old-school methods that aren't working. Soma is surprised by this sudden resignation and asks about a successor. They need someone as smart and wise. The minister tells Soma not to worry. He took Kaz as his apprentice and believes he's ready to be prime minister and will do excellent work. Soma looks at Kaz and realizes he might be the perfect candidate. He accepts the resignation and appoints Kaz prime minister. Kaz thanks him and tells Soma to take the entire day off. He's been working non-stop. If he keeps this up, he'll burn out, decreasing everyone's productivity. Soma seems reluctant. There's still work to do. But Kaz insists he take the day off no matter what. He can do the rest tomorrow. Soma follows his advice and arranges a date with Liss, with Aisha escorting them. Liss is shocked Soma is taking time off and asks if he's okay. Soma says everything's fine. He just wants to relax for an evening. Liss suggests they shouldn't go out as king and queen. She whips out military school uniforms, hands one to him, and wears one herself. Aisha provides protection, and they enter the city. After roaming, they visit Juna's cafe and sit in a booth for relaxing snacks. While relaxing and talking about the kingdom, they overhear a loud conversation from the adjoining table. A fox girl named Kaidi and a red-haired guy named Hal are having a heated argument. They're so loud Soma can't help overhearing. They start talking again. Hal tells Kaida he doesn't trust the new king at all. He seems young and inexperienced. Why follow someone his age who's probably less experienced on the battlefield? Kaidi tells him to shut up and says the new king seems formidable in intelligence and strategy and is doing really good work. Hal, with young blood, only wants war to prove himself in battle and earn respect. He tells her he plans to go to the Duke of Carmine and join his army. Kaide is horrified and tells him never to say that. The Duke of Carmine is in open rebellion against the new king for no reason. Hal shouts that he'll do as he pleases and doesn't believe the new king is fit to be anything. Soma walks to their table and asks Hal directly why he doesn't like the new king. Hal looks up and asks who the hell he is. Kaide recognizes Soma immediately and gets flustered. They move to another table and start talking again. Hal tries getting in Soma's face, asking who he thinks he is. Aisha immediately grabs his hand, twists it, grabs his face, and crushes it. If he wants to join the Duke, he should. You can't force anyone to follow you. They do so willingly. Soma plays a mental game, understanding the underlying feelings of both Hal and Kaide. He tells Hal that once he's on the opposite side, he'll have to fight against Kaidi. If he avoids head-to-head combat with her, someone else won't. If she gets injured, his army won't let him protect her. Even if she's dying and could be saved, his army won't allow it. They'd consider it treason. Hal goes into silent thinking mode, thinks long and hard, and decides he doesn't want to fight against Soma or Kaidi. Soma is glad to hear it, thanks him, and leaves. The next day, Soma sits with Lise for tea and explains he's getting better with dark magic. He can now control 4 inanimate objects alone. Before she can respond, he's called to the courtroom. The head of the prestigious Magna House requests his attendance. Soma goes immediately and finds Hal with many injuries on his face. Glaive and Kaidi are there, bowing. Soma sits on the throne. Glaive immediately apologizes, saying he had no idea Hal said those things. Kaidi informed him later. He tells Soma he disciplined his son and requests no strict actions. He promises the unwavering support of the Magna family. They'll always stand beside him. Soma thanks him for his loyalty and says he doesn't intend to punish Hal. It seems Glaive punished him enough. Soma tells Glaive he's taking Kaide as one of the mages in his royal guard and making Hal an officer in the royal army so they can stay close and support each other. Several days later, the bulk of paperwork is finally completed. The remaining work can be done with Soma's dark magic, so he doesn't need more manpower. He calls a meeting with everyone who worked on paperwork. When they assemble, he gives a magnanimous speech about how they're the real treasure of the kingdom. Because of them, he can start the next project, ensuring the kingdom's long-term survival and potentially solving the food shortage problem. He tells them to take an entire week off for their amazing work. He'd pay them extra, but the kingdom is short on money. Instead, he tells them to go to the royal wine cellar, which holds the most amazing vintage wine. They can each take an entire bottle and do whatever they want, sell it or drink it. The group rejoices, thanks Soma, and rushes to the wine cellar. Lys asks if giving them a week off is advisable. There's still work to do. Soma tells her to chill. The work is progressing great. He plans to create a port on the shore of one village. It'll be strategic, boost trade, create a trading town, and employ people. Ships from other countries will pay taxes and tolls to trade, reducing illegal trade. He'll put low taxes on ships trading food crops, reducing food shortages. He explains supply and demand. Demand for food is highest, while supply is zero. The next day, Soma, Lys, and Aisha go to the small village for construction. Ark is already there with tents set up. He welcomes Soma. When asked about construction issues, Ark replies that many village elders strongly advise against building a port on their shore at any cost. They believe an old legend. If anything is built there, water gods will destroy the region by sending a giant water monster that swallows everything. Soma is interested and asks Ark to take him to those elders. Ark takes him to a house where Soma meets an elder. They sit down to talk. The elder again advises Soma not to build there. The water gods will take revenge and destroy everything. Soma asks when the water gods destroyed anything and how they knew it was coming. The elder replies it happened when his grandfather lived there. According to legend, before the sea monster arrives, the ground shakes from its footsteps. After a while, the monster comes from the sea and gulps anything in its way, destroying everything they hold dear. Soma decides to call it a day, and heads back to the castle. He calls Kaz and Ark to his chambers to discuss this predicament. Kaz asks if he believes the myth. Soma replies he obviously doesn't believe in a sea monster, but he believes myths are always grounded in some truth. He tells them he's decided to change the construction location. He'll mark out the entire area the villagers believe is cursed. Kaz can't believe his ears and asks if he's afraid of some mythical sea god. Soma replies he's obviously not worried about a sea god, but he believes what people call a sea monster is a tsunami. When they say they feel the earth rattle from its footsteps, they're misunderstanding. It must be an earthquake. The area must be susceptible to tsunamis after earthquakes. He decides to think ahead and not create a disaster-prone port. Soma's construction plans kick off. Hal is exhausted from manual labor and complains bitterly, asking Kaide why the army has anything to do with road construction. Kaide tells him to shut up and return to work, warning him not to call her by name. She's technically his boss. She explains the army does most construction work because there are so many roads to build and a lack of manpower. Including them is the only way to make significant progress. At lunch, Hal tastes a delicious burger made by Soma. Kaide tells him the fresh vegetables came from a nearby village thanks to a newly constructed road. She further explains the roads are decreasing food prices because supply increased. Hal is surprised by the king's commendable foresight. Soma walks in with Lise, surprising them. Hal immediately stands to salute, but Soma orders him to stop acting formal and call him by name. He's happy to find a guy his age to talk freely with. As they walk on the new road, Soma explains construction to Lise, who's never seen how roads are built. He tells her about raw materials, shows street lamps powered by luminescent moss plants for nighttime illumination, and warding trees planted to temporarily protect the village from wild animals. Suddenly, a messenger bird interrupts and delivers a letter to Aisha. Her father informs her about a deadly landslide that swallowed half their village. Many are unaccounted for. Aisha is visibly disturbed and calls out to Soma. He approaches the situation calmly, immediately instructing Kaide to mobilize a group including herself as the first rescue team to go with him to the Dark Elves' village. He briefly comforts Aisha, but tells her instead of crying, she should brace herself to accompany them to her village since they're foreigners and need directions. He tells Lise to hurry to the palace, mobilize another rescue team, and tell Hakuya to send relief packages to the Dark Elves. Soma asks Aisha how long to reach her village. She says 2 days with a normal military march. He's deeply worried about arrival time. If 3 days pass between disaster and rescue, the death toll will greatly increase. Like an answered prayer, one of their strange riding animals runs by. Soma gets the idea to use them to transport his rescue team to Aisha's village while he goes with the royal carriage. They arrive at the village in the evening. Aisha's father begins hailing the king and introduces himself as Woden. Soma tells him to skip formalities for a better time and asks for an explanation of the current situation. Woden tells Soma 100 lives were claimed by the incident and 40 people are unaccounted for. Soma tells him to compile a list of missing people. Each name will be struck off once found. He also tells Woden to have someone watch the mountain for movements in case another landslide occurs during their rescue mission. Aisha offers to play watch lady. Her father is comfortable with her there because she knows the forest like the back of her hand. After discussion, Soma addresses his search and rescue team, encouraging them to put road construction skills to good use. They'll need to excavate land to thoroughly search for missing people. When they start digging, Soma suddenly stops and runs toward a fallen tree trunk, saying he can hear voices. Hal is confused. He can't hear anything. When Hal later digs the area, he's shocked to see a human hand. He drags the trunk away, and the person is pulled from the ground. Hal is surprised Soma could tell someone was buried there. Soma shows him the wooden mouse carved to find missing people in places too tight for the rescue team to squeeze into. Soma controls these mice using magic, sharing part of his consciousness with them just like with the pens and dummy. Eventually, the search concludes. All villagers are accounted for. Woden thanks Soma for timely intervention, even though unfortunately some lives were lost. Suddenly, one of Woden's daughters comes in to say the princess just arrived with the second rescue team. A man crying in the corner says it's too late. Soma explains that even though it's late, other activities are being performed, tending to wounded and reconstructing damaged buildings. The man tells him all their efforts won't bring back the dead. Woden immediately interrupts, tells him to be quiet, and explains to Soma that the young man is his younger brother Rob, who lost his wife to the disaster. His only daughter is currently in critical condition. Rob cries bitterly because he protected the forest with so much dedication. He can't understand why it killed his wife. Woden comforts him and tells him to mourn without blaming anyone. Later, Aisha tells Soma that Rob was one of those who opposed the tree thinning he proposed. She wonders if that contributed to the landslide. Soma explains the disaster was merely bad luck in addition to high rainfall frequency. As they head back to the palace, Liz apologizes for being unable to do anything helpful. Soma says he feels more useless because he should have planned for disasters like this ahead of time. He also tells her he regrets being completely focused on fixing the food shortage problem while ignoring other important matters. Days later, Juna checks on Soma and finds him surrounded by papers on his bed. She tells him Liz complained and is worried about his unhealthy sleep habits. Soma says his mind is preoccupied with many things. She walks to his bed, sits beside him, and asks him to lie down. As he does, she places a palm over his forehead and caresses it lovingly, telling him it's understandable if he doesn't want to look weak to the princess, but he can call her whenever he feels worn out. To her surprise, Soma is already fast asleep. Juna smiles and sings sweetly to him while he sleeps. Meanwhile, an argument ensues between leaders of the dukedoms. A lion-headed man called Duke Carmine insists on overthrowing Soma because he's unfit to rule their kingdom. Duchess Excel is confused, commenting on how much Soma has done for their land. Carmine says Soma neglects important matters and fires loyal service chiefs in the name of combating corruption. The Duke has no intention of ruling himself. He only wants the former king reinstated because of his loyal commitment. Another duke named Castor is also willing to rebel against Soma and clamors for war before Soma gains everyone's affection. Excel warns them both that other kingdoms like Amadonia would use their rebellion against Soma to attack. Castor says Amadonia is willing to send reinforcements against Soma. The Duchess isn't convinced. They sent a similar offer to Soma too, wanting to cause confusion so they can attack Elfrieden when soldiers are all in battle. Suddenly, Castor's daughter Carla bursts into the room and declares that if her father is fighting Soma, she'll fight by his side no matter the consequences. Gaius, the mischievous ruler of Amadonia, is glad to hear Carmine accepted his invitation to go against Soma. He calls Carmine a foolish old man. He's going to cause confusion by sending Carmine reinforcements to fight Soma and sending Soma reinforcements to fight Carmine, just as Lady Excel suspected. His son, Prince Julius, backs him up, but his daughter, Princess Roroa, is totally unsupportive. She envies the land of Elfrieden, which keeps flourishing by the hour. At the palace, Soma consults Hakuya about a proposed plan to use violence to protect their kingdom. Soma was originally against cruel measures, but his grandfather's final words ring in his ears. He chooses to protect those he now considers family. With a decisive tone, Soma orders their plan to subjugate. On the other hand, Gaius orders his army to invade Elfrieden territory, specifically the granary city of Altamura, while assuming Soma is fighting the dukes. Gaius says it's high time they regain land stolen from their ancestors 50 years ago. Before he finishes his speech, a minister named Colbert comes running and interrupts. Colbert bows and tells him not to begin a war. It would plunge his people into starvation. Gaius walks haughtily and kicks the poor guy in the face. Still, the minister reminds him they're under the Mankind Act because they signed a treaty. Gaius and his son are too stubborn to listen and dismiss him. Colbert comes out looking like he just left a boxing ring. He meets Gaius's daughter on his way. She tells him she plans to escape the kingdom and he should get ready just in case things go haywire. Before he knows it, he says goodbye to gravity. Meanwhile, Soma sends for Liz to ask a special favor. He gets on a video chat with the three dukes. After introductions, Castor tells Soma he can trust his loyal servant Tolman to lead the Air Force if he loses to Soma. Soma tells him he'll review their case after the war, but until then, Tolman will assemble the force to announce they're under new command before heading to Carmine's duchy. On their way back, List says good things about Carla, calling her a good and devoted person, hinting she might have an appealing body under that ugly armor. Soma gets the picture. List is leading him to spare Carla's life and take her as concubine. But Soma is concerned about losing people's trust by overlooking Carla's crime of rebellion. Carla tells Lise not to plead for her life because Soma actually sent them numerous letters to change their minds, but they rejected them. Back at Elfrieden's fortress, as Kaid and Hal watch the Air Force approaching, Kaid immediately knows Soma won the battle against Castor. Tolman orders the force to attack Carmine's castle but avoid residential areas. Soma and Hal congratulate each other for successfully carrying out their plan, although both face difficulties dealing with enemies. Observing their conversation, Carla is surprised to see Hal speaking to the king informally. List tells her Soma is actually a nice guy once you get past his kingly attitude. Later, a newscaster appears on broadcast, saying she'll bring news about daily events in the kingdom of Elfrieden and its environs. Soma organized some form of entertainment show next because Aisha is clothed in a pretty dress, making her uncomfortable. When Soma appears with her on screen, the people of Amadonia are amazed to see such a young man defeated Gaius. Soma announces they're hosting Elfrieden's first musical show, then introduces a young girl on stage. She performs her cute little song. Juna is next to present. While Juna performs, Soma pulls Aisha to tell her he invited a surprise guest to sing next, but he wants Aisha to watch his back. Without hesitation, Aisha beats her chest and says she'll watch over him with her life. Soma awkwardly turns away after seeing her plot cannons bounce like that. Juna's performance pleases the crowd. Soma invites his surprise guest to perform. He introduces her as Lieutenant General Margarita of Amadonia, who will perform the Amadonian national anthem. The crowd is shocked. A brief moment of silence ensues. But as soon as she starts singing the anthem, they all pledge in respect. As she finishes, she tells Soma he can chop her head off now. Soma surprises her by saying he has no reason to. She can't believe it because the Amadonian anthem is basically a song about seizing stolen land back from Elfrieden. Still, Soma tells her Elfrieden has no silly laws against other countries' anthems. A good country is one where everyone can freely sing whatever they like. Meanwhile, Soma's prediction about the Empire is about to come true. At the forefront of the Mankind Treaty is the Grand Chaos Empire, led by a very beautiful and sweet-natured lady called Maria, also known as the Saint of the Empire. Maria's sister, Jean, tells her she's heading to the captured city of Van to negotiate with Soma for its release so they can maintain the Empire's prestige. After his recent conquests, we're back to paperwork. Our hero realizes he has excess burdens following the acquisition of Van. The good news is the people of Van have newfound interest in bouncing back after years of oppression. Roroa sees that ever since power was seized from her father, people have had freedom like never before. She's pretty sure they won't allow her brother a chance at the throne. All this is thanks to Soma. After his motivational speech on broadcast, he lowered taxes and increased goods circulation. She plans to make Soma pay for what he did to the capital and her family. Soma is informed of an army heading their direction. He asks for updates. Pancho joins him, bringing a beguiling lily plant with hallucinatory effects, but most importantly, possessing lily roots, food items of tremendous value. To harvest the roots, people used orangutans, known addicts to the lily's hallucinatory effects. Soma asks if there are orangutans in Amadonia. Pancho says yes and has already contacted Tomoe to negotiate a deal. Barrels of weed in exchange for manpower harvesting lily roots. After organizing everything, Pancho prepares stew with lily roots and serves it to people, giving some to take home. Later, Soma, Luna, and Tomoe are in the market. Soma wears a hat to conceal identity. When Tomoe runs off shopping, Luna pulls him closer and holds his arm, assuring him he's well protected and safe with her. She suggests shopping for his adopted younger sister, Tomoe. At the shop, he tells the little girl to pick whatever she likes. Luna follows and picks pretty dresses. Soma picks ugly shoes. The minister uses a military analogy to tell him men and women bargain differently. Soma gets the hint and leaves it to Luna. Soma asks why he had to use a military analogy. He says lately he's had to deal with the charming but cunning little devil, the princess of Amadonia. After shopping, Tomoe wears a really pretty dress and has a bag filled with sweets. Suddenly, a little girl bumps into Soma. He checks if she's all right. She apologizes. A mysterious woman tells her to be more careful around a king. The woman introduces herself as Jian of the Grand Chaos Empire, here to negotiate the return of Van to the Principality of Amadonia. She apologizes on behalf of the Empire for summoning him from his world. Soma tells her he knew the Empire had no need for a hero. He was only summoned as a human sacrifice on behalf of Elfrieden. The kingdom of Elfrieden wasn't a signatory to the Mankind Act, but was somehow a beneficiary. Due to their dwindling economy, they couldn't contribute as much as neighboring kingdoms, so they had to summon a hero as a sacrifice to demons just to make it seem like they were doing something serious. Jean says no one expected the hero summoning to work or for things to get better for Elfrieden, but Soma proved them wrong. Now all Soma wishes is to protect his newfound family. He hopes Jean will accept his jurisdiction over the land of Amadonia. She says she also has a family to protect. Soma tells her they'll have to negotiate to reach a compromise. Jean says she hopes he'll take it easy on her and turns to leave. Somehow, it feels like the so-called negotiations won't be as easy as expected. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the genius of Soma and want more breakdowns of the smartest anime strategies out there, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for Curious Nerd. We've got plenty more where this came from. Thanks for watching.